Hello farmers, welcome back to Goldcrest Valley, going up over the hill because it is time to harvest the new field, I guess we can call it in some sort of way. I mean, it was two fields and we kind of made a field in between to merge it all into one. So yeah, it's a new field. Yeah, we got this to harvest today, and I did notice this morning going around, the birch trees that I planted have actually grown. Can I see them over there anywhere? You can kind of see the one down between the barn and the silo. You can see that one. You can kind of see the one down by the chicken coop, which I did take care of the eggs this morning as well. So they should be all set, but it's time to get harvesting some canola. And then I got to go down and take care of the grass fields because they need fertilizer. And I got to make sure I get that done before I forget about it, because next month it is time to harvest the grass. So I want to make sure I get that done. This header will do that once in a while. I go to fold the header and the wheels and everything go in a weird direction. There we go. That's what we want. Should be no straw from the canola on this map anyways. Let's fire up the header. I really don't know a good way to harvest the field, so I'm just going to harvest it. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I did not put a cereal crop in this field, just because I won't have straw and odd lines and everything. Now, when we get down by the shed here, I left the terrain the way it was. I'm a little bit concerned when I get in the middle of that new field area. There's a pretty decent hump there, so I'm not going to be too surprised if I go over it and the harvester header just misses a couple spots here and there. So I kind of expect that to happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's even better. So all this canola, I think, because I keep forgetting, I'm still trying to get used to just a regular time to sell certain material. Canola, that says December. I thought it was earlier to sell. I thought maybe it was November originally, I thought. Let me go here and double check. Yeah, that says November. But the my stock market page is saying December last year. So yeah, not in November. We'll have to start checking it. So yeah, usually I'm using, of course, production buildings. If you've been here long enough, you know that. So usually I'm harvesting a crop and bringing it to a production building, not keeping it and selling it at the peak time. So I'm trying to just keep in mind when the peak times are. I do know the cereal crops, definitely December, January time. Yeah, this is going to look pretty darn good. Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that the birch trees have sprouted up. So at least when next month comes, we should start seeing... Why is that not harvesting there? That's kind of weird. We should start seeing some fall colors a little bit around the farm. Oh yeah, you can kind of see the terrain there. Okay, so I don't really remember where the hump is, but I guess that's one of the humps over there. So we may have to get the terrain tool out, or I can just leave it there and just leave it as part of the feature of the field. Spin around here. I was actually thinking, do I want to use a trailer to unload, or just drive the combine over, but then I'll have to keep taking the header off to do that. I mean, we got tractors, we got a trailer, so we'll do that. Oh yeah, the other thing I also, in between episodes, because it was over the weekend, I think it was on Friday it dropped. It was a mod for the bunker silo. It is for PC and Mac only, but it's a bunker silo helper. So when I start putting grass or chaff into a bunker, I could have done it with Courseplay. I just never got around to doing it and recording a Courseplay. But now there's a mod. Apparently I just have to go in with, you have to go in with one of your own tractors, and apparently just hit H for helper, like you normally would on PC, and yeah, it'll do its thing. So we will have to give that a try. I don't know what tractor I'll use with a helper. I don't know if I want to use the 9RT or the 8230. The 9RT does tend to get stuck, but if I just hire a worker and just start them after I bring in like the first 3 loads of chaff and just make sure they keep on going, every time I go down, they'll pretty much they should have it pretty much smoothed out by the time you get back, I think. Now back in 19, I don't remember if I did it in a video or not, but I did use Courseplay on a bunker silo. And on that one, I knew how to, when you got near the bunker silo, the Courseplay worker, I think it was Courseplay that did this, it would know that you were coming. It would see you, once you got, you know, if an active tractor got within the range of the bunker, the Courseplay worker would actually back out of the bunker, park to the side, wait for you to unload the chaff, and once you leave the area, it'll go back to work, which was a pretty darn good feature. It was pretty cool. Probably Courseplay does that in 22, but it's been so long since I've done it. I pretty much stick to know what. I just want to stick to what I know, basically. I don't really get that much time anymore to really dive into all the little things, but sometimes I'm willing to learn. It's always good to learn some new tricks, because sometimes. Well, I was kind of talking about it in yesterday's video of Oceanside Forest, where I was talking about precision farming and how some people, you know, ask me some questions about it because to them it's very confusing. I'm like, yeah, once you know how to do it, it's very simple. And probably the same thing with Courseplay. I know a few of you had told me how to do Courseplay, to do certain things. It's like, yeah, I know I can record courses, but there was a couple that said, oh, I could do that. I'm like, yeah, that would be nice, but I don't mind driving around the map either. And that kind of goes back to when we were harvesting grain down by the cows, and I wanted the worker to come on down here, and the worker did not want to go. The worker said, I cannot find the target. But the one thing I may look into and start using it when we get the BGA, which is going to be next month, unless something comes up for sale and I spend all the money. But we'll be getting the BGA in October. So hauling the grass chaff all the way down up here to the BGA, that's going to take a while. And I always get 11 full loads and then a little bit of a 12th. So that's going to take up a lot of time going back and forth. Alright, the combine's pretty well full. Let's go ahead and tab. Well, it tabbed right into the 8230. The trailer should be over here. Sorghum field is ready for harvest today as well. Won't take us long to get that done, but I don't want to be a whole episode of me harvesting, so we're going to just harvest this field and then grab the Massey Ferguson, which is up by the sheep, and we'll go fertilize the grass field. Oh yeah, here's one of the birch trees that we planted right there. I think harvesting the field currently the way I'm going is not a bad way to do it. Oops, it is an odd-shaped field, but, you know, in real life, farmers will take up any part of the land they can to get the crop into the ground. And that's kind of what we did here. There used to be a road just to the left of us, but now it's a field. So we should get a good amount of canola off this field, I hope. I think the crop score is pretty good. Okay, maybe not here. Crop rotation is only 95. Because this crop rotation is different from the one down there because they were two separate fields. And of course we were putting different crops into them. So I probably just went by that field down there and went, okay, that one's good. This one up here is alright. So it's going to take a couple of harvests to get the crop rotation settled in this field right here. Part of me is also really hoping that a truck comes up for sale in the store. Only because I mean, we haven't really been cutting trees recently, but maybe this winter we'll cut some. But we do have the flatbed trailer, which would be good for transporting the eggs for the chickens and the wool for the sheep. And I could even use it as a baling trailer if I wanted to. But that means I would have to load it on and then unload it. And yeah, all my struggles with a front end loader after using a auto loader for so many series on and on and on. Probably take me forever to load it on up and then I would have to unload it. Although I did do some in Cylindra. And now we're probably gonna miss some here, or is the header gonna get it all? Okay, so the header did actually pretty good there. You can see it's rather bumpy through here. I mean, so if I only miss that one little section, I mean, I will go back and harvest it, but if that's the only section that it misses or has a hard time with, I can live with that. But I still think there's one hump kind of in the middle somewhere. Every time I've been logging on to Oceanside Forest recently, I keep seeing that front end loader on the sale page. I'm like, yeah, they do come up for sale. Just on the wrong series, and now I don't need it here, but would have been kind of nice to have. But it all worked out. Now, instead of, because we don't need any more room on the headland, I can go ahead and turn around and do this. Let's go ahead and finish off this harvest. Should be definitely a full trailer load once we get another load in the combine. So I'm thinking, sell whole, let me just say about 35 to 40,000 liters of canola I'm shooting for.
Never said goodbye, think I broke your trust, should've known this all along. Don't wanna be the one that you're trying to avoid. I'm feeling so confused, why did I act so annoyed? Cause I don't wanna be strangers, baby. The next time when we meet, and oh, it dawned on me, yeah, yes it did. Not letting you go, cause what we had was gold, and you gotta know, I was standing on the border. The walls around me kept me safe. I couldn't see that I was shutting you out. I was stuck up and proud, but I'm waking up now. Want you to know that I need you. I'm waking up now. You gotta know that I need you. Yeah.
Well, somewhat of a perfect width that we have there. Header width that we have there. Just got that little piece on down there. Although I just realized, because I said I got the sorghum field I need to harvest, I probably should have started with that one, because I could have harvested that field, and I think I would have gotten all the grain in the combine. Maybe not. But yeah, I could have just harvested that field, and if I did get all the grain in the combine, could have drove back, unloaded into the trailer here, put it right to the silo, but not that big of a deal. Let's have to bring the 8230 on down to harvest the sorghum with us. I don't know, that field sometimes is bigger than what I think it is, so maybe I'm going to fill the combine. I can't remember what I did the last few harvests. I know like the first year we had like sunflower in it, so sunflower doesn't harvest that great. But we got that new part of the field where all the bumps are. You can really see it. Well, if you got really good, a really good definition on your screen, you can kind of see all the bumps and twists and turns it's got in the terrain there. We did pretty well. Okay, let me turn off the header. I said turn off the header. There we go. And let's go put this into the silo. So 22,000 plus whatever we got in the combine. I was hoping for 35,000. I way overshot when I wanted the wheat field down over the hill. I think I said on the wheat field I'm hoping for 80,000. I don't remember what we got. Maybe 70, which is still pretty good. There'll be a few trips with this trailer. Whoa. I keep forgetting this John Deere tractor, even though we should have weights on the front. Or do I not have weights on the front? Maybe I can't have weights on the front because I got the 3-point linkage. I don't know, I got so many John Deeres now on my farms that I'm having a hard time keeping track which ones, you know, got what on it. I do think I got the models down, though. Well, except for the 7R on Oceanside Forest. I know it's a 7R. Or maybe a 371. It's a 371 horse. So I don't know what the model number would be on a John Deere. Put it all in there and we'll fold up the combine and we'll get that ready to go over to the sorghum field. Let's see here. If I put it actually this way. We will fill up the combine, even though I'll be using it later on in the day. Although I didn't check the forecast to see if there was rain in there, and I've been kind of speeding up my days a little bit, trying to judge more of because I don't like recording that much and leaving at one time to speed, and we get done like at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Then just fast forward to the rest of the day. I think it'd be more interesting if I tried to adjust the time scale so we kind of go through the hours of the day. Oh yeah, so we got 7,000. So I barely, somewhere right around 30,000. We had 22,000 and change. And then we got 7,000 and change. So we got 30,000 liters off that field. It's not too bad, considering that the scoring was not the greatest on parts of that field. Alright, let's go ahead and teleport to... Oh, it was actually right there. Here we go. Let's go ahead and drop off the water tanker, which is, of course, leased. You can see all the birch trees that we planted here. Actually, one's starting to turn some colors. Is the where's my fertilizer spreader? Is that down? That's probably down in the farmyard. Well, it's not up here. And I don't think I left it over at the cows. So let's go grab that. I think it's at the farmyard. Better be. Hey, train. Want to race? Alright. You're a little bit faster than us. Well, since I just spent $4,000 on filling this up with fertilizer, I just realized something on this whole setup has got our repair meter down quite a ways. So I think we'll stop at the shop and just maybe repair everything. It might be the front. No, because I bought all that stuff new, so that shouldn't be worn down. Oh well, we'll just repair it all. I mean, it might be just a Massey Ferguson because we did use it for baling the straw. And as you guys have told me, the more hours that get on a tractor, the faster it'll keep wearing down. Which is a nice concept because if you are on a map long enough, it'll kind of maybe get you to swap out your tractors more often. Yeah, so this one, we're not repainting, just repairing for 17. Yeah. That's worn down to 29, you know, quite a bit. So over $29, we can afford that. That's worn down quite a bit. And the Massey Ferguson, no, there we go. $12.66 to repair that. Well, we're still above $500,000 in the bank account. Alright, now on this field here, I can get the field done if I'm careful on 3 passes. Let me just make sure the working width is set correctly. And we'll drive on the wrong side of the road here just for a moment. So this might be the last time we fertilize. Yeah, I got no weight on the front. Gotta use some of this fertilizer to get the front wheels back on the ground. Yeah, so we might be replanting who knows what in this field next year. I say replanting. We're planting for the first time and getting rid of the grass field. And we might buy the other grass field, or we might buy a field up by the BGA so we can start, you know, using that field to make chaff and bring over to the BGA and put it into those silo bunkers. And we can keep the little grass field down here, and I can just keep making hay for the cows that we have. Because we are going to get more cows at some point. I don't know when, but I haven't been checking the reproduction. Yeah, I'm not going to get this done 3 passes because I'm overlapping too far on the right-hand side. That's okay. It's all fine. So when I cut this grass next month, whenever episode that would be, at least next one or the following one, yeah, every load I want to bring up to the BGA, we're just going to compact the grass into those bunkers. Because at some point, you may ask, why not just use the bunker here? Well, then I still got to transport the silage from here up to the BGA. And we do have a pretty good size forage wagon at 50,000 liters to haul it around. But as we all know, we get 550,000 plus when we do the grass fields. I don't think I can stretch this to get... Oh, maybe I can. Ooh, okay. I thought I overlapped a little bit too much. But then again, I'm not at the other end of the field yet. So, yeah, I think at the other end I kind of cheated myself a little bit. Love the 42 meter wide working width on a fertilizer spreader. And this being a modded spreader, it will take lime as well. And it'll spread at 42 meters also. But the small problem is this only holds 4,000 liters, I think. I can expand it to a 10,000 liter capacity, which I had on East Vineland. But, yeah, I'd just rather much get the Breedle spreader and do that. I will get the rest of the grass field here just by going like this. And like this. Alright, that's another, well, that's another job done for today. Now let's get the other grass field done, which will take just a few moments. And of course, we got soybeans in this field here. Those should be ready next month. Yeah, that grass field, that's not ours in front of us, is a huge grass field. I think it's a little bit bigger than the one we just fertilized. I think that field's 180 to 190,000, and the field that we just fertilized when we bought it was 120. That's why we went with the cheaper one at the time. And that was a good purchase at that time. We spent our money at the correct time. Nothing really came up for sale. I think there was a tractor, a Kloss tractor with tracks on it. That would have been really, really good. But in the long run, we got the 9RT. So it all worked out. And of course, getting that grass field as early as we did, you know, helps us get as much grass, which makes silage, which of course makes money. Because with the 2 grass fields here, every time we harvest them and make silage, we're making roughly about $100,000 from selling the silage. So $300,000 a year from the grass. I made this comment before. Who knew grass would be worth so much? But then, of course, a couple of you smarties. Yeah, that grass is worth probably as much. Well, I don't know. Here in the States, probably not as much as it used to be because a lot of states have legalized that type of grass. So maybe the value has come down quite a bit on it. I don't know. Alright, there is the grass fields done. I do want to come over here. Boy, I still got a little bit light in the front. If I get in here, let me bring up the HUD. Does it give me... Yeah, so see, now I'm in the silo bunker. It says H, hire worker. And if I hire worker... No field found. I'll have to double check. Maybe it's not going to work because there's no chaff in there to compact. Although I think it does say that the U-shaped bunkers is what it works best on. But I'll have to double check on that. I thought, you know, I downloaded it a couple days ago. I'm recording this on Sunday, and I downloaded the mod on Friday, and I thought it just said drive in the bunker, and you should be able to hire a worker, so I don't know. So there's some fertilizer right here. I'm just going to go ahead and top off this fertilizer spreader if I can, and if not, take the whole pallet, which is nice. Let's go ahead and park this right here for now, and go back to the combine. And we're going to go and harvest that sorghum field, and that is all the fields except for the soybean field, and of course the grass fields. And then we are done for the year. At least harvesting-wise. And then we can kind of focus a little bit on the BGA and all that. So in October, I think if the soybeans are ready, and they should be, I'll probably start with that. And then move on to the grass fields because that's going to take a little bit longer to do. Oh, that's right. Should have my beacons on. I don't think I use beacons as often. I know some of you say, turn your beacons on when you're on the road. I think the problem I have fallen into is I tend to play on a lot of maps that don't have traffic. No Man's Land we're on for quite a while. No, you know, nothing there. Now I'm on Oceanside Forest. No traffic there. I will say Oceanside Forest has actually, you know, sustained the amount of viewers that I thought it was going to drop off quite a bit because of the forestry work. But a lot of you are pretty excited about seeing, you know, taking a forest and making a farmland and getting ourselves at least 10,000 chickens minimum. I don't know how far we'll go with it, but we'll see. We shall see. And we have reached the hump on that series, meaning the money's coming in just as fast as I need it to spend it. And plus now we're starting to get to where we're actually starting to create some farming fields. So if you only saw the first couple of episodes and don't want to get to a whole lot of forestry work, if you tune in, probably tomorrow we will start creating some more fields and not do as much forestry. Which way are you going? That way? All right. And now you're going to stop there, so I got to turn around you. Oh, I should have went one more road over. Yep, let me just a little scratch. I don't think I really have an access point to this field other than by the welcome sign. Oh, and the road sign. My butt swung a little bit wider than I thought it was going to. All right, drop that off there. Let's not take any more road signs down if I can help it. Not lined up. There we go. And of course, being sorghum, no straw for me. So that's all good. But next year here in Goldcrest Valley, we do have a planter that we can use. So we can plant some corn and some sunflower if we would like. We do have a corn header. Corn/sunflower header. I didn't check. Did I get a corn/sunflower header? I think I did. I think I got one of the modded ones, right? I'll have to double check on that now before I go ahead and plant. Make sure it does say corn/sunflower header. I'll check now while I'm thinking about it, because in 2 episodes from now I'll forget again and probably have to check. If we go to here, corn headers. Yep, corn and sunflower. And what working with that? 12 meters? I think I tested the header on this combine to make sure it worked all right. Just after the ideal combines that I've used on No Man's Land and also the one just recently on Hinterland, when I put the corn headers on there, it just ramps up the RPMs on the engine quite a bit. For some reason, it bogs down the combine. But then again, even with the 60-foot header on the ideal combine on Hinterland, that was pushing the RPMs up quite high. And if you kind of watch, if you remember what that ideal combine did on Hinterland and look at here, yes, I do realize this is a 45-foot header, not a 60-foot header. We're not really getting as maxed out in the RPMs as we were. And the ideal combine there was like a 680 horsepower, I want to believe. I honestly don't know what this one is. But hey, if we looked once at our inventory, let's go ahead and look again. Harvesters, 435 horsepower. See, I'm 54% done, 54% full on 2 passes. So yeah, I'm gonna get it all done. Then we'll fill up the combine. But I'm gonna leave the combine here. We'll grab the 8230. We'll come over and empty it on out that way. I think that's what most farmers would do. They wouldn't drive the combine back and forth to unload into the silo. They would actually bring a grain trailer out and do it that way. Sorghum will be all sold. I'm just going to keep the wheat mostly for the chickens, not all of it. The reason why I keep the wheat is because the value of sorghum and barley is better than wheat. And when you feed the chickens, you should be able to feed them any type. But the value of the food they get, it's 1 liter for 1 liter, so it doesn't matter in their feed trough. 1 liter, 1,000 liters of wheat equals 1,000 liters of barley equals 1,000 liters of sorghum, and they consume it at the same rate. So might as well put the cheapest crop in there and we sell the better crop and make money off it that way. Now, before you even ask, on Oceanside Forest, I'm not going to really care what I feed the chickens because we're making so much money in that series, it's not going to matter. Yeah, look at that. 97%. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Yeah, I gotta leave the combine on, and let's go ahead and grab the 8230. I do love the fact that when I tab, I go right from the combine right to the 8230. I think when you tab, it's the order that you bought the vehicles in. I think. So if I were to tab again, I think I would be in the 9RT or the forklift. Can't remember when I bought the forklift. Maybe I bought the forklift after the 8230. That's the way I think it works. It probably doesn't. It just seems that way in my head. Yeah, this alfalfa clover crop just seems kind of weird. I know it's on other maps, so if anyone else is playing on other maps with the clover and alfalfa, is it one time per year in those maps as well? We cut that clover and alfalfa in April or May, and then we mulched it right away, and here we are in September and nothing. Now we know it's going to grow because it did last time. Wait, did I mulch? I think I did. Oh, great. I'll have to double check on that now. There's so many things going through my head, I'm having a hard time keeping track of stuff lately. I think the problem I have in some sense is for every Let's Play I do, I always have a test map for it. So I can, if a new mod comes out, be like, okay, where would I put it on Goldcrest Valley? Would it work here? Does it work here? And then I get mixed up if I did it on the test map or did I do it here. What we're checking here is make sure that it's growing. And yeah, this is all growing and this is growing. So I did mulch it. Let's turn off the combine. After it empties, of course. Let me just back up a little bit. And all I want to do is just get the header off the combine. There you go. We'll turn the beacons off so we don't wear out the battery overnight, although I don't think that would wear out the battery overnight. Back to the farm. And we'll unload this into the silo. And wrap up the day, I do believe. That's where our money goes. That's my bank. that's where we put all the good stuff. Yeah, probably. I know the sheep are good on food, but as for the chickens, I think we just gave them some wheat when we harvested, right? I think we did. Yep, they are good. And the cows, eventually we're gonna have to feed them again. I mean, yeah, we'll probably wait until tomorrow. We'll give them some straw and some hay. We do got hay down there. That's been there for quite a while. But nothing that needs to be taken care of. So the only thing I really need to do for the rest of the day is give the sheep some water just before we head to bed. And, of course, check on the store to see what's going on there. And then, of course, check it again in the morning. That turned quicker than I thought it was going to. Might as well leave it attached right to the 8230 because we're doing soybeans in the very morning. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock, but we'll check the store now. All right. I kind of just bought one on Oceanside Forest, but I do have the money to buy one, but we're not doing that many trees here. Yeah, we're doing enough forestry in Oceanside Forest, so we don't need that. So, looks like we got our harvesting done just in time. Well, a couple reasons. One, it's dark. And two, the rain has showed up. And nope, nothing else that we saw earlier. So, let's go ahead and zip on over to October. We should be all set. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything that we needed to do, but I think we got it all done. Except for the wool up at the sheep. So it's either the chicken or the wool. I mean, that's a good thing. That means the animals are producing rather well. Okay, that is a really big mulcher. And bigger than one we got, but I don't think we need to upgrade. Yeah, I don't need a tractor that small. I mean, I would like to upgrade, like I said, to a 400 horsepower tractor, not tractorized, because we got the 9RT. Because that could haul some grain around. A bigger trailer wouldn't be bad either. But I mean, I think a truck would be nice. But you know all the stuff that we're looking for. But yeah, nothing this morning to buy, other than before we go, I mean, I don't really have. I don't have to buy the land, but we're gonna have to sell that silage. Well, not sell the silage. We have to process the silage. So let's come up here. Yes, we want to buy the McLean biogas plant for $250,000. Building has been purchased, and if I look into here, yes, we can bring silage, we can bring slurry from the cows, we can bring manure up, and we can bring up cut sugar beet. I'm not doing cut sugar beet. I don't feel like doing sugar beet on this map, at least not now. It'd be a while, that's for darn sure, because I only could lease. And leasing that equipment is expensive, or buy, and that's expensive as well. Unless I go small, and at that point I really still don't want to do it anyways. But the cow manure and the slurry we can start bringing up any point, and start processing that, which gets made into methane, and the methane will have to go over to the power plant, and the digestate, I could either sell it or use it on a field. Probably just sell it at some point. But yeah, we can start processing this, and can start processing some methane. And, yeah, then we can we really don't have to, now we can use the, all the bunkers up here. I think it's the same bunker as what's down there, but of course we got many of them. So, you know, we could stockpile it in here, but we don't have to hold on to it. It's just a matter of putting it in here because we're not selling it. We're just processing it into other materials. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, so that leaves us with $250,000. That makes sense because we had $500,000. I spent $250,000. So the BGA is now ours. We can start using these pits up here, which we might start doing. I don't know if it'd be at the beginning. Sorry, at the end of next episode or the episode after. But we'll get to it at some point. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Goldcrest Valley. But until then, have a good one.